don't cave, don't capitulate, except, who am I kidding? As I correctly called out that this was going to happen. It, of course, happened. Kamala Harris distanced herself from Biden. Not on Israel, by the way, which she should have done months ago. Let's get started on the Trump rally, right?
Rachel Scott in Pennsylvania for the latest on the Trump campaign. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Yeah, Donald Trump's campaign has really been trying to turn the page after a comedian compared Puerto Rico to a floating island of garbage at one of his rallies. But this morning, Republicans are seizing on what President Biden had to say about it.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
President Biden going on the attack.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
The White House says President Biden was referring to the comedian, but Republicans seizing on the president's words, accusing.
I think Look Alive Jack came out with the Mac attack in the last second. People might criticize him for it, but he's right and he should say it. Okay? That's it. That's my take. Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? What are we doing here? Why is it that, like, Republicans can literally say a metric ton of unhinged garbage on a daily basis? And when someone goes, hey, I don't like that, that's a trashy statement that you're making. They go, whoa, 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 whoa. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? What is going on? I'm a victim. What do you mean? What do you mean? I just simply want concentration camps for every migrant at the border. Why are you calling me a fascist for that? Wow, you're the real fascist for saying that. As a matter of fact, it's like, dude, what the are we doing? Anyone that looks at these two statements, okay, side by side, like the Republican platform, how Biden has responded, and goes, well, both sides are really up here, is the most delusional person on the planet. What the I'm sorry. This is completely beyond the scope of comprehension. It is beyond unacceptable, okay? If anyone looks at either of these and, like, falls for these cynical attacks, okay? Fall for these, like, cynical attacks, they are the biggest sucker of all time, okay? You are a mark. You are a rube. You are a sucker. Biden had that streamer webcam angle. I know. He was cooking. He was cooking.
Him of calling Trump supporters garbage.
Breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage.
Biden even taking to social media to clarify, writing, earlier today I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. Trump has repeatedly gone after voters who are supporting Harris.
I'll tell you what, any African American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala.
Like, he'll be like, if Jews don't vote for me, if they vote for Democrats, they need to get lobotomies. They need their heads examined. Hispanics love me. And the ones that don't, will deport them. And then you're like, hey, that's crazy. Like, that's a crazy thing to say. Why are you saying these crazy things? Nope. None of that. What are we doing? It's just the permission structure for Republicans to get away with whatever the they want to say is so insane right now. Like, there is genuinely nothing that Republicans can say that will cause the media to be like, okay, dude, this is insane. Like, if you are doing real news coverage on the fact that Donald Trump's prominent generals have called him out for admiring Adolf Hitler last week, and then this week the current sitting president says, yeah, people that support that are trash, you can't turn around and be like, well, that's a bridge too far, sir. Like, what are you supposed to do then? It doesn't make sense. It's so inconsistent. It's It like doesn't make sense to me because I believe it. I believe that Donald Trump is a fascist. Okay. I believe that his supporters are at best not all that interested in the dangers that fascism presents. And at worst, they are die-in-the-wool fascists themselves. Okay. They want to do bad things. They want to hurt people. They want to hurt your neighbors. They want to, they want to put them in concentration camps. If you turn around and go, that's a bridge too far to consider them trash. It's like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing then? What are you supposed to say? Give them high fives, kiss them, love them. You're not going to, Joe Biden already bear hugged one fascist in Israel. Okay. Benjamin Netanyahu. What are we doing? You want him to bear hug this one too? Give all the fascists a hug and then become fascists ourselves. That's great. Seems like a good future for this country.
Kamala, you got to have your head examined. Anybody that votes for her, you should have your head examined.
And
yeah, like that's what I mean. What does that say? What does that say? Donald Trump, every rally is like, if you're a Kamala supporter, you literally have an intellectual disability. Okay. Where's the coverage? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You can't call that trash? You can't call the supporters of that trash? That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like Tucker Carlson went on the Madison Square Garden stage and literally said, Kamala Harris is a low IQ Samoan Malaysian. Okay. Like that is so insane. Like that is such an insanely racist, obviously racist thing to say. It is like, you're not even offering plausible deniability in that moment. You're just basically saying like, they're all the same. Black, brown, doesn't matter. They're low IQ and it doesn't matter where they're actually from. Okay. And when you offer any kind of media coverage to like Joe Brandon's sentiment in this situation, as though this is like equal ground, okay, as though Donald Trump's rhetoric and Joe Biden's response to said rhetoric is like kind of similar, it's ridiculous. And then the Democrats turn around and capitulate on that. Dems tried it in 2016, deplorables. No, that's a different situation. It's a different situation because Hillary Clinton was responding to a person that she was right about, by the way. She was right to say that they were deplorables, but she was responding to a person that wasn't seen in the same way as Donald Trump is. Okay. And no, that wasn't a motivator for people to go out and vote. 2016 is not 2024. 4 years of Donald Trump already happened. Okay. January 6th already happened. Child separation already happened. Roe v. Wade already happened. Get the out of here.
It was like a love fest, an absolute love fest, and it was my honor to be involved.
And then telling Fox News he can't imagine it's a big deal.
What they've done is taken somebody that has nothing to do with the party, has nothing to do with us, said something, and they try and make a big deal. But I don't know who it is. I don't even know who put him in. And I can't imagine it's a big deal. I've done more for Puerto Rico than any president. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but I don't want anybody making nasty jokes or stupid jokes. But, probably he shouldn't have been there, yeah.
But that comedian wasn't the only one on stage to use racist and sexist rhetoric. Some Republicans warning the damage could already be done. The former president campaigning in all-important Pennsylvania, putting immigration at the center of his closing, vowing mass deportations, and receiving his biggest applause when delivering this campaign promise.
And I am hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
We had the chance in front of 100,000.
Don't cave. Don't capitulate, except, who am I kidding? As I correctly called out that this was going to happen. It, of course, happened. Kamala Harris distanced herself from Biden. Not on Israel, by the way, which she should have done months ago. Not on any number of different things, like the right-wing border bill that they're pushing for. Not on that, but on this. It is, this only further, like, how do you not understand the lesson that the Republicans, especially in the post-Trump universe that we're living in, how do you not learn that one very important lesson? A very important lesson that dictates that if you apologize to cynical framings of a story, you are basically continuing that story. You're legitimizing it. You're giving it air. The answer should always be this, okay? Joe Biden's statements aside, we know where the well of depravity comes from, and we are going to vote him out in November in the next 5 days, okay? The idea that Joe Biden's statements on the increasingly harmful rhetoric coming from Trump and his rallies is in any way, shape, or form inappropriate is ridiculous. Okay? Because it is ridiculous. You understand? It's ridiculous. This is a cynical way that Republicans are trying to turn around and say, oh man, I can't believe he called us garbage. Oh, remember when Hillary Clinton said deplorables? It's the same thing. Stop letting cry bullies win. Republicans do this so well only because Democrats cave, okay? If Democrats did not cave to this kind of cynical, and they haven't caved in the past on certain issues, it would not be a real there would be no motion. There'd be no juice on this. CNN's been covering a garbage thing all day. Meanwhile, Trump just called Democrats horrible people 5 minutes ago. The media is failing us. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is one of those instances where I'm the most libbed up, most hashtag resistance ass out there. Okay. This double standard is so annoying. Okay. This double standard is completely unacceptable. It blows my mind. It is so frustrating to watch it unfold every single time. Okay? My brain hurts. Came from a chat trying to convince me Trump would be better on Gaza than Kamala. Are we looking at the same? Are we seeing the things that Trump is saying and getting away with saying every day? Are we seeing what the crowds at his rallies are cheering for? Are we how are we looking at the situation and be like, well, both sides have some issues? What the are you talking about? Harris breaks with Biden over garbage comment about Trump supporters have their reluctance to distance herself.
People to talk about what's at stake in this election and to point out that the American people have a real choice and a very important decision to make in 6 days. And it is about who will not only lead the country, but occupy the White House where critical decisions are made that include how we think about who we are as a nation and whether we are going to be a nation of people who attempt to unify and break through this era of divisiveness, or are we going to be a nation of people who has the president stewing in the Oval Office over his enemies list? And I think that the turnout last night and the kind of feedback that we are receiving is a strong indication that the American people actually want a leader who is going to bring us together. And that's the type of leader I intend to be. Listen, I think that, first of all, he clarified his comments. But let me be clear, I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not. And as President of the United States, I will be a president for all Americans, whether you vote for me or not.
Are you saying that Joe Biden is not a president for all Americans, whether you vote for him or not? Is that what you're saying? There's so much that's wrong with this. Republicans tried and failed to claim that Democrats' rhetoric on Trump led a registered Republican shooting Trump. Okay, hold on. This was a moment where Dems didn't back down and showed how silly it is. For Republicans to cry bully the Dems. Now they're caving on the cynical framing on the issue of garbage, on the Biden garbage issue. Okay. Hold on, let me rewrite this. Republicans tried and failed to claim the Democrats' rhetoric on Trump led a registered Republican to shoot at Trump. This was a moment where Dems didn't back down and showed how much GOP owns. I'm sorry for getting mad at her for this is stupid. She just had a huge speech about unity and Biden undermined that even though he's right. But of course she's going to say this after that speech last night. No, it's bad. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. and for two reasons, okay? It's a bad idea for two reasons. Number one, it's a bad idea because you're trying to win an election, okay? You're trying to win an election. It's dumb to try and do a unity thing when the other side is never saying unity. The other side is saying, we're going to kill you. And you're over here being like, no, we're going to unite with them. You're dumb. That's number one. Number two, what have I told you guys about the Sister Soldier moment that Bill Maher was asking for from Kamala Harris? It is a bad PR strategy to adopt the cynical framing that your opponent is cry-bullying you over. You are giving them a victory. Whether you agree with the sentiment or not does not matter. Okay? When you say something like this is what's going to lead the news cycle now. Ooh, there's division between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Like it's dumb. It's so dumb. All right? It's so dumb. The smart thing to do in this situation from a PR strategy, from a communication strategy, is to turn around and be like, what are we talking about, dude? Like, there hasn't been a day that has gone by when Donald Trump hasn't said that he wants to use the military on American citizens that he does not like. That is garbage. And if you believe that, you got garbage beliefs. That's it. Move the conversation back. Put the Republicans on defense. That's what you're supposed to do. There is no reason to be like, here's the real situation. Here's what's going on. I don't agree. I'm going to be the president for all Americans. Like, Republicans never say that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Mike Lee, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, when President Biden called Trump supporters garbage moments ago, did he mean older people like my parents or younger people like my children, nephews, and nieces? Also, are just men garbage or my wife and sister garbage too? I said, yes, if they're voting for Trump, they're all garbage. The whole deplorable thing worked out really well. Like, what are we doing here? We have to be so courteous to the whims of like some of the dumbest people on the planet, dude. Get the out of here. Why are we being held hostage by these? Why? This is some loser shit, okay? This is loser shit, dude. This is straightforward loser shit. What the Dems didn't cave to the cry bullies and showed that the GOP owns politically violent rhetoric. Now they're caving on the cynical framing on Biden's garbage comment. Why? That's what I'm going to say. Because, like, I'm showing you an example where the Democratic Party across the board did not actually back down. Remember, Donald Trump gets shot in the ear, grazed in the ear, okay? Republicans immediately come out and they're like, I can't believe you're running a campaign against the guy who just got shot. How dare you do this? I can't believe your violent rhetoric against Donald Trump being a fascist is the reason why a registered Republican shot at him, right? And everybody was like, come on, dude. Have you heard Donald Trump speak at a rally? You really think the Democrats are using violent rhetoric here? Get the out of here. And what happened? What happened when the Democrats actually had some backbone? What happened when the Democrats demonstrated a little bit of backbone where they're like, violence is never acceptable, but we all know who's actually doing the politically violent rhetoric, okay? It's the Republicans forever. And especially in this news cycle. You got dumbass Republican terrorists like lighting ballot boxes on fire, shooting at Kamala Harris's campaign office in Arizona. Okay? You got all this
That is my responsibility, and that's the kind of work that I've done my entire career, and I take it very seriously.
Are you concerned about what impact this may have on voters, on the divisiveness of the election, and whether or not it's going to dissuade some people from supporting you because of your affiliation with the president and this administration?
I've been very clear with the American public. I respect the challenges that people face. I respect the fact that we all have so much more in common than what separates us, and that most people want a president that understands that gets that, and approaches their role of leadership that way. I've been very clear from my earliest years.
This is a bad tactic. I think the best possible thing to do in this situation is deflect. Do you not have a comms guy? Oh my God. Do you not have a single intelligent PR person in your background? I know you do. There is 0% chance you don't have one person who was like, ma'am, I think the best possible thing to do in this situation is just to switch the conversation back to the violent rhetoric that we hear from the Trump Republicans on a regular basis. Donald Trump hasn't had a single day where he has gone to a political rally and said, I like the Democrats. Some of them are very fine. Every single day, he does 2 rallies a day. And at every single rally, he's like, I'm going to kill Democrats. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill them dead. I'm going to use the military. I'm going to use the police. We're going to lock them up. We're going to execute people. We're going to kill brown people. We're going to put them in concentration camps. And then, God forbid, someone goes, hey, that was pretty trashy. I think that's trash, you know? I think that's pretty trash. God forbid. Holy moly, dude. What?
As a prosecutor, I never asked anyone, are they a Democrat or Republican? The only thing I ask folks is, are you okay? And that's the kind of president I will be.
And Madam Vice President, on a separate subject, last night you mentioned removing people in the country who are here illegally. What do you mean? Is that...
By the way, the funniest thing was when the Trump attempted assassination, the failed assassination happened, right? And the funniest thing was people who were wearing like kill Kamala Harris or you know, kill Joe Biden t-shirts would be like, this dangerous rhetoric has gotten out of control. Like, it's like, did you listen to the rally that you just left? Are you aware that you are wearing a shirt that is calling for political violence against your opponents? Are you all right?
That's an immigration statement, obviously. Were you referring to people who have come here before illegally, or can you expand on what you meant by that comment?
What I intend to do on the issue of immigration, as I said last night and have said continuously, is we need to fix our broken immigration system in a number of ways. We need to strengthen the border and put more resources at the border, which is why I support the bipartisan bill that Donald Trump killed that would have otherwise put 1,500 more border agents at the border, put more resources into prosecuting transnational.
I'm seeing a lot of people in your chat saying they hate Republicans. What the Yeah, this is really messed up. Yeah, I wonder why this community would say things like they hate Republicans. I wonder where that comes from, dude. Like, we don't even like the Democrats because they present themselves as too Republican aligned. Yes, I do not like the Republican Party. I do not like its platform. I do not like the things that Republicans advocate for. I think everything that they advocate for is completely against improving the material conditions of the American working class. Okay? It is garbage. Their opinions are garbage. Okay? I would say the same for many Democrats who also capitulate to the Republicans and their framing on a lot of issues. I don't like it. I don't like what they do to themselves. I don't like what they do to the country. I don't like what they do to marginalized people. I think it is trash.
Time, and would very importantly put more resources into stemming the flow of fentanyl, which is killing people around the country. And when I am elected president, I will bring that bill back and I will sign it into law. I will do the work also about ensuring that we pass comprehensive immigration reform in a way that we allow hardworking people who have earned citizenship a path to actually be able to gain citizenship because they have earned it. And that includes everyone from our farm workers to dreamers. Once again,
do you sympathize with any voters who do feel offended by or insulted by the garbage comments?
I am running for president of the United States. Second, my highest priority is to address that and to lift them up around their ambitions, their aspirations, and their dreams.